Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Smooth Plays podcast. I'm Austin, aka Austin Plays, joined again by my guy Dean, aka the one and only Mr. Smooth.
It's good to be here, man. Ready to acknowledge that last week was a little rough for the picks for both of us, but ready to move on to Thanksgiving, man. Happy
Yeah,
Thanksgiving.
yeah, we're only gonna give you all one episode this week, like Dean said. We're not just running from, the misery that happened last week. All right, our picks were not on. It was a rough week for the boys. But it happens. Hey, it happens to the best of us. But yeah, as I said, Thanksgiving week, and we got some stuff going on. We got plans, so we only got time for one episode, but happy Thanksgiving to everybody. At the time we're recording this, this is Tuesday, so we may not have all the final lineups and everything for the Thursday and rest of week 13, but we're gonna give you all our predictions based on what we have at this moment. But yeah, everybody stay safe. And hope you all, spend some quality time with family and friends. And say after Thanksgiving, it's Christmas, baby. So,
Sure.
2020, hey, the year is coming to an end real quick.
Fast. 2024, man, was fast.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it was just me, but I feel like we literally were just getting out of 23. So, crazy, crazy world we live in nowadays, to say the least. Um,
Yeah.
but without further ado, are you ready to dive into the Thursday Thanksgiving festivities?
Let's dive in.
All right. So first game, Thanksgiving Day, 12:30 kickoff Eastern Time in Detroit. The Chicago Bears going into Detroit to play the Lions. What are we looking at out of this one?
Hey, nothing like, the waiting on your family to get there and you're watching the Lions play football on Thanksgiving. Yeah, this Lions once again have a big number. I think that will be a trend that we continue to see as the season goes on with how they've looked. And they're at home like they always are on Thanksgiving.
Yep.
I don't have a lot to say about this game, honestly. The Bears are 0-4 on the road, and I don't care if this game was in Chicago. Why would you not take the Lions and the points? Like, give me a reason not to.
Yeah, I mean the main thing that I have going into this one, I mean obviously the Lions have been absolutely killer like throughout the season. They're 10-1, hands down the number one team in the NFC. I mean, the biggest thing or question for me is gonna as in Chicago, like I mean, we had a bounce back week, got some points on the board finally, but I mean, is this going to be another week? Or are we just going to be back to the same old Chicago and they're going to get skunked on the road in this one?
Uh, I mean, I could see their offense has looked better since they've changed coordinators, but there's no way they're keeping up with Detroit, at least scoring wise. I don't see that happening.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I would say Detroit just had 24 to 6 victory, and the week before that they had 52 to 6. So, this Detroit Lions defense is hot right now.
Yeah.
I mean, granted they played the Jags and the Colts, but still, I mean, are the Chicago Bears really that far off from the Jags and the Colts, at least from what we've seen throughout the season?
No.
I mean, why would you not feel comfortable taking the Lions in this one? So, I mean, yeah, give me the Lions. And I mean, ten points is the spread. It's a lot. Um, I kind of feel like they're due, but at the same time, this is the Lions at home, Thanksgiving. Like, I mean, give me the points, man. I'm taking Detroit. I'm taking the points.
Yeah, I am too. But we just last week we said Washington was 10.5 against Dallas and lost, but Detroit ain't Washington.
There's no way. There's no way that we have back-to-back weeks with double-digit favorites going down.
Yeah, no way, right?
You would think. All right. So we're on the same page there for Detroit and Chicago. Moving on, we got the Dallas Cowboys playing at home against the New York Giants. And this was a tricky spot. Dallas is 3.5 point favorites. And if you've watched the NFL this year, Dallas is the worst team in the NFL. It's not even close at home. Worse than the Panthers, worse than the Titans. Like it is unbelievable what they look like at home.
I can't explain it. They go home and it's like they forget how to play football.
I mean, yeah, I literally have no explanation. I don't know if it's, Jerry's world, the pressure, or what, but regardless, this is a Giants team that's 2-9. I mean, they're coming off a pretty bad outing against the Tampa Bay Bucks. I mean, do we think that the Giants can respond this week? Or is this going to be the Dallas Cowboys, are they finally going to get a win at home and, put anything together?
I mean, they're due for a win at home. Like they have to win one eventually. But there's no way. My Thanksgiving is made whenever the Cowboys lose. So I don't care who they're playing. I'm gonna be on the Giants, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, 3.5 points too. I think I would feel comfortable at least taking the
Plus,
Giants plus three
yeah.
and a half here to cover the spread. I could see this one being a field goal because I think the Giants are better. Again, I think the Giants are better than their record shows. I mean, they've shown flashes of what they could be. They got guys to get the job done. As long as they're healthy. So, yeah, give me the Giants. I like the Giants points, but give me them to win outright as well. I
I
I think the Dallas Cowboy home woes continue on Thanksgiving.
yeah, I agree with that. And didn't Dable get fired?
Did
Or
Dable get? I haven't seen anything about Dable
no,
getting
they had I
fired.
think I I guess I saw some I got some sort of notification that maybe they were close to doing it, but I don't think they've officially done it.
Yeah, I haven't seen
Yeah,
anything saying that Dable got fired. That would really suck if he did because we're both big fans of Brian Dable, and
yeah.
you know, it's an unfortunate situation that he's kind of thrust into. Um, but as a head coach, that's the expectation is that you can find ways to turn these teams that maybe are a little lesser in talent and make them somewhat respectable, which the Giants have not been. But yeah, not to get off track, I'm still taking the Giants to win this one, and I'm taking them points for sure. But I like, sprinkle a money line bet for the Giants, underdog road win.
Yeah, the points is the play, but like you just said, it's just I'm just happy when the Cowboys lose. So I'll definitely put, money line. Got to do a little bit on that.
And then to close it out, Thanksgiving dinner. I mean, Green Bay Packers going up against the Miami Dolphins in Green Bay. I mean, look, the Green Bay Packers in Lambeau, especially at this time of year, in a Miami Dolphins team that has struggled on offense all year, no matter who's at quarterback, let's be honest. I mean, what do you have to say?
I will say that Miami, the offense has looked a lot better. They got Jalen Waddle at 100 yards and a touchdown last week, so he is on the Dolphins. I can confirm that. Um, Jonnu Smith obviously is having a good year. I do think Miami, like I said, they've been playing better, but Tua's 0-6 in sub 47-degree weather games. And this game's going to be cold.
It is
And it's
going
going
to
to
be
be
cold. I
Atlanta.
look, I got at work, I got the weather channel on to my left at all times, and all I'm seeing is that big old cold front coming in from the north. And yeah, it's supposed to get like, I think the feel like, especially at that time of the day, might be like in the 20s, sub 20s. So yeah, 3.5 points. I like Green Bay to cover the spread and win by four or more.
Yeah, I think their defense can get active again. Their defense is good. They can get active against this Dolphins offense. And I can't, of course, they send the team from Miami to Green Bay at this time of year. That's just a tough draw for the Dolphins, honestly.
Yeah, but I mean, it's nothing new. I mean, teams got to, battle through that kind of adversity all the time. So, this is the NFL. This is the expectation. So, Miami, go out there, handle business. But I'm not relying on you. I'm not putting my money on you to do that because I just don't believe in you right now. So yeah, give me the Packers. Give me them to win this one, cover the spread, by four more.
I agree with you. I'm on the Packers.
All right, and that closes out our Thursday. All right, we're all stuffed full of turkey, and Right back Friday night. All right. Black Friday, well, not Friday night, but Friday afternoon. All right. Black Friday. We get a Black Friday game, and it is the black and silver Raiders going into the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, this Black Friday football, I mean, it's great, right? We get the Raiders going into Arrowhead and big point spread. The Chiefs continue to win games. They're 10-1 and they continue to not cover.
Yeah.
As a common trend that we've seen. Um, 12 and a half points here. I don't know if you, I'm sure you do. Do you see who's starting at QB for the Raiders this week?
Um, I know that it's not Gardner Minshew. I know he's out. I don't know who the actual starter is. I couldn't tell you to be honest.
It is Desmond Ritter.
Oh,
Start.
oh Lord. For those of you that don't know, last year I was sent on a roller coaster because I took Desmond Ritter over season's passing yards and he got benched needing like 20 more yards to go with 4 weeks left in the season. And he finally got the call back to start in the final week of the year to clear out my parlay. It was a crazy, crazy whirlwind of emotions, but I rock with my guy Desmond Ritter.
Well, I'm glad you do, but since he's starting, I'm on the Chiefs minus 12 and a half. I'm not touching the Raiders with Ritter starting.
All right, hear me out though. Like, this isn't me being an advocate for Desmond Ritter either. Like, if Gardner Minshew was starting, obviously, I think the spread wouldn't be this high. But like you said, the Chiefs haven't covered this spread at all. I think that the Raiders' defense is gonna, I think that their defense is gonna be good enough to keep Mahomes at under 20, like not under 20. I'd say I wouldn't be surprised if the Chiefs can't get to 24 though. 24 is my number for the Chiefs. And I think that the Raiders can definitely put points up, even if Ritter's at quarterback. I
I
mean,
got,
give me the Raiders in a 12 and a half point spread. I believe in the Raiders to cover.
I hear you. I got the Chiefs scoring 30 plus on this Raiders defense.
All right.
And I,
So I'm taking the Chiefs to win now.
yeah, the Chiefs, I do see what you're saying. They've only covered that number once at home against New Orleans. This is the second time they're going to do it with Desmond Ritter and the Raiders.
Hey, the Raiders, I believe. All right. Keep it close. That's all I'm asking. You don't gotta, shock the world or anything. Just do just keep it close. Keep it entertaining, all right? You're the only game on Friday. At least be entertaining, all right? Don't be a blowout. All right. But we're gonna move on. That's gonna wrap up, our special games of the week, and then we're gonna go into our normal Sunday slate. We're gonna start with the Indianapolis Colts going into New England to play the Patriots.
This one's interesting because these are two teams that, I mean, I think the Colts are solid. They're just mid, let's be honest. They're just
Yeah.
a mid football team. And the Pats are not very talented, but at least they have a fun quarterback to watch because he's in his rookie year. It's Drake May.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Drake May has been relatively he's been a joy, I think. The lone bright spot in my opinion for the New England Patriots, but yeah, I don't Anthony Richardson is so inconsistent. Like it is insane. Going into New England, I mean, I think this one is another one of those games that's just going to be real gritty and who is going to win the battle in the trenches. And I mean, Jonathan Taylor's got to get going at some point, right? I mean, I think this Jonathan Taylor, he hasn't looked as elite as he's been as he was a couple years ago. But I mean, and he's 2.5 point favorite on this one. I mean, I like the Patriots to be honest. I like the Patriots to win.
I hear you, but I do respectfully disagree. I think the Colts are good enough to beat teams that they should beat. And I think Taylor can get going against this defense. I just think the Colts are just more talented across the board. And yeah, Richardson scares me a little bit, but he can still make big plays to beat this Pats team. I like laying the points as well, 2.5, Indianapolis.
Yeah. One thing I am a little that thing that really raises concern for me also though is Josh Downs. I mean, he's listed as questionable, but I mean, I don't know. I feel like a part of me feels like he's probably not gonna play. just because the what it looked like whenever he got injured last week. So I feel like he's not going to play, and that's a big loss for this Colts team. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna take New England though at home. Home underdogs. Come on. All right, we're gonna move into the Pittsburgh Steelers going up against the Cincinnati Bengals. Who dey?
Uh, this should be this should be a fun game. I feel like when the Steelers and Bengals match up, it's always interesting, and especially where these two teams are out or at right now. You got Joe Burrow, who's arguably putting up MVP numbers, but his team is 4-7,
Yep.
and you got the Steelers, who are 8-3, and honestly been good all year, but coming off a very underwhelming letdown last week at Cleveland. But I mean, it was a snowstorm as well, so.
Yeah. I
Uh,
mean, the Steelers they have a long week, so plenty of time to, put last week behind them. Regardless, not a game that you feel, that one is going to leave a sour taste in your mouth probably and linger a little bit. And I think it carries over into this game. And unfortunately, this is still a hungry Bengals team. They're 4-7. I mean, they're not out of it yet. I mean, if they can string games along and with the help of this guy right here, I mean, this guy, I don't know if you've seen the numbers he's putting up. I mean, it's him, Derrick Henry, and Saquon. And that's it. That's the only people that are going to be in the race for offensive player of the year because what he's doing on the field is absolutely incredible.
yeah, he has been killing it, but I do think that this is a spot for, especially with how desperate the Bengals need to be with 7 losses already. I just think the play for me would be Pittsburgh +3 because I can see the game being close and just give me all the points I can get in a good divisional game with two solid teams.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna rock with the Bengals on this one. I'm not gonna touch the points like you said because I do think this one can be close. But I'm gonna rock with the Bengals. I think that they're gonna be determined to go out there and perform and get the job done at home against a division rival. So I like the Bengals getting a not an upset because they are favored, but I like them, at least in terms of their records, an upset. So
Yeah.
give me Joe Burrow and the Bengals. We're going to move on to the LA Chargers going into Atlanta, who the LA Chargers, again, they're coming off a loss. This is a short week for them, but still favored against an Atlanta Falcons team, which still, I mean, it's crazy that we still are talking about this. I mean, this Atlanta Falcons team really still does not have an identity, offensively or defensively.
Yeah, they cannot rush the passer at all. So Herbert's just going to be sitting there. The Chargers offensive line is good too. We know this. We know they like to run the ball. Um, I don't know. In my mind, I want to be on Atlanta. They've dropped 2 in a row. They're coming off the bye, so they've had a bunch of time to rest at home. I just don't know. I feel like the Chargers are just a better team at this point. What do you think?
I mean, yeah, I hear what you're saying, and I agree. I think that the Chargers are the better team, and I think the whole identity crisis thing going on in Atlanta is going to speak volumes because the Chargers, for the most part of the year, have been a run first, ground and pound team. But we've seen as the season goes on, they're kind of letting Herbert air it out a little bit, and this is a Falcons team that, like you said, can't really get pressure on the quarterback, hasn't all year and their secondary has kind of been a victim to that, and they're one of the worst pass defenses in the league. So, I mean, give me the Chargers and give me Herbie to have a big day. Quentin Johnston had a really rough week. I expect Quentin John. He had arguably one of the worst statistical lines in like NFL history as a wide receiver. He was like over 5 on targets, and 3 of them were drops that
Can
he
I
easily should have caught.
can I say one point on that just real quick? In my family fantasy league, my cousin was down 1 point, and it's a half PPR league, and he had Quentin Johnston, and he gets
So as
that's
long as he comes up with one catch for no yards, he wins.
pretty much, and he like you said, one of the worst games we've seen in a while.
Yeah, but all that aside, I mean, give me the bounce back for Quentin Johnston and this Chargers team. I mean, yeah, this Chargers team they're just better. They're the better team. They've been better. They've played better all year. And I think that they bounce back. Give me the Chargers to win this one in Atlanta.
Honestly, I agree with you. I like the coaching matchup. I think the Chargers have a better coach. I
Yep.
think like I love what you said about Atlanta not finding their identity. The Chargers have their identity. They know what they want to do, and I think they'll execute it. And don't look now, but the Bucks are coming, Atlanta. The
Hey,
Buccaneers are coming in that division.
hey, I love to hear that, man. Don't sleep on those Buckies. All right. But we're gonna move into Seattle and the Jets.
I
This is
forgot.
look, don't shake your head. You picked them to win the Super Bowl at the start of the year, buddy.
Hey, I fell into the Aaron Rodgers hype, man. I will say that, like I said, I don't know what, 3 episodes ago now, I will not be on the Jets ever again for the rest of the year with the way they've looked. Um, and I feel like when they play at MetLife, it's just cursed anyway. Seattle coming off the big win at home, they're 2-point favorites here. I don't see why you wouldn't like Seattle. The Jets, look at the Jets. Why
Hmm.
would you back the Jets?
Yeah, I mean, I would be I'm all over Seattle on this one. I'm tempted to make this my lock of the week, but I'm gonna hold off. I'm gonna hold off till the end of the episode, just to run through the rest of these games, and then we'll get there when we get there. But yeah, I mean, I'm right there with you. There is nothing that the Jets have done that makes me believe that Aaron Rodgers and all these guys that we thought, Garrett Wilson, we thought was gonna be an Offensive Player of the Year candidate. I mean. There's just nothing going on that's good for the Jets right now. And I don't see any reason why this is going to be the week that they all of a sudden click when they're going up against the Seattle team who's battling for a playoff spot and battling for a division title, by the way. And, are they're coming off a big win. So give me Seattle, give me the points. Like I'm riding with the Hawks.
I will say I'm a little scared, little letdown spot for Seattle after the big win, but I just think the Jets are so bad. I can't take the Jets, so I'm on Seattle as well.
All right. And then looking at the Houston Texans going into Jacksonville. What do we think? What do we think about this one?
I
Is Trevor Lawrence? Trevor Lawrence is questionable.
questionable. If Lawrence plays, honestly, I'm on the Jags. Houston. I know they've been injured a lot, but CJ Stroud has not taken that second step that I think we both thought he would take.
Yeah, I mean CJ Stroud, I think I said this either last week or the week before. CJ Stroud, when I was talking about my dark horse MVP for the year, CJ Stroud was one of the guys that I was thinking about. And ended up going with Kyler Murray. But yeah, CJ Stroud has not he hasn't really played up to what he did last year in his rookie year. So, um, yeah, if Trevor Lawrence plays, I definitely think I'm going to take the Jags actually, plus points at least to cover 5 point spread. I don't know about winning outright because this is still the Jags. Um, but yeah, the Texans have looked as a team, the Texans have looked kind of lost over the last few weeks.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely on the Jacksonville with the points. I'm not even afraid to take them outright. I think coming off the bye, divisional game, they could definitely win this game. I think they might be live. It's only if Lawrence plays, though. If Lawrence plays, they're live.
Yeah, if Mac Jones starts, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. If Lawrence can't go, I don't know who else the Jags have in the quarterback room, but it shouldn't be Mac Jones.
Yeah, man, that guy was a first round pick.
Hey, Jamarcus Russell was a first round pick.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Arizona Cardinals going into Minnesota.
I mean, Arizona after Minnesota, man. Minnesota just they find ways to like the fact that they almost lost that game last week was crazy, and they probably should have, honestly, letting the Bears hang around for that long. But regardless, they're 9-2 and they got the win. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
But
So at the end of the day, you get the win. It doesn't matter what happened in that game. The only thing
yeah,
that matters is the result.
yeah, I actually Arizona after losing a tough one to Seattle, I think Arizona plays, these good teams pretty well. I
Hmm.
think the Cardinals are live in this game. I honestly to win outright.
Yeah, I mean, I again, I hear what you're saying. The Cardinals have kept these games against good opponents close throughout the year, and they've won a couple of them.
Mm.
So yeah, why not be on the Cardinals here at 3.5? I can see them keeping this close. Like, why not? And anything's possible in the NFL. Like you said, Vikings, you got away with one last week. Do I think that you can potentially play the same way you did last week and get away with it 2 weeks in a row? Probably not.
Yeah.
So why not be on the Cardinals? I'm gonna take them points, but yeah, like you're saying, don't be surprised if they keep this one interesting and get a road upset.
Vikings have won four in a row. They're due to lose. They're
You
not
would think. You would think.
they're due.
It's gonna boil down to how much you really believe in Sam Darnold and if you think that he's legit and he's found a spot in Minnesota.
Yeah, I mean that's the biggest thing. I just think the Cardinals are going to make this push for the NFC West title, honestly.
I believe in the Cardinals.
I
So
do.
yeah, give me them points. And then we're gonna move in. This is our last one of the early slate on Sunday. The Tennessee Titans going up against the Commanders in Washington. I mean, we gotta at least acknowledge what happened last week for the Commanders.
And for the Titans, big win for the Titans in Houston. But yeah, the Commanders, that letdown was and the McLaurin touchdown at the end just to miss the extra point.
I mean, yeah. I think Cybert, what, he missed 3 field goals, I think that week or last week as
Two field
well.
goals in the extra point.
Two
Yeah.
field goals yeah.
Well, they put him on out. He's
And it
out
was
for
his
the
first week back off of injury, I
yeah,
think.
they put him back on IR. He's done for the year, I think.
That's the good old It's all right. Maybe you're not all the way healthy. Maybe you just take a back seat, bud.
I am worried about Washington's running backs, though. Robinson and Eckler are both questionable.
Yeah.
In Washington, you guys were 7-2 at one
Yeah.
point.
I would say you've dropped three straight and Phew. I mean, this is what we were talking about earlier in the year with Washington is you look at this roster up and down and it's like they've really do they really have the guys and the talent to keep up with all these, front runner contenders in the NFC and even being in the AFC for a Super Bowl title. Um, they don't really stack up well when it comes to guys and talent. So I think that, beginning of the year, that locker room was all bought in, new kid on the block, Jaden Daniels. They were all bought in and believed. Now you've dropped three straight and you're back to, you're sliding down that slope and you got to stop it quick or else you're going to keep sliding. This is a get right game though, against the Tennessee Titans team who is coming off a win. So I think that this is a good spot for Washington to get right against a team that they should beat. They are better than this team. I mean, and they're 5.5 point favorites. I like the Washington Commanders to win this one. I like them to cover the spread.
Yeah, I do think this is a spot for Washington to get right. And it's really only because Tennessee won last week. If Tennessee would have lost last week, I might be on Tennessee, but
I would have been like, hey, watch out for Tennessee. This one could be sneaky, but
they
I don't see Tennessee winning two in a row.
no, they're not good enough to win two in a row. I will say though, if Washington loses this one,
I
I'm off
mean,
them for the rest of the year.
yeah, yeah. I think if Washington loses this one, any sort of contention that they might have been in talks with are done.
Yeah.
All right, but that wraps up our early window, and then we're gonna move into our late window on Sunday. Tampa Bay Bucks going into Carolina. What do you got?
These are two teams that have been playing well, or at least the Bucks did last week. They were coming off the bye, and well, the Bucks have honestly been playing well. They've lost a lot of close games,
Hmm.
and then Carolina almost snuck one out against Kansas City at home, which would have been a crazy upset. But back to reality for the Panthers. I think this Bucks running attack has just it's been great. The three-headed monster with Sean Tucker, Bucky, and Rashad White.
Hmm.
I think Carolina's playing better, but Baker against one of his former teams, man. I think the Bucks can cover this 6 point spread too, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, look, yeah, I've I'm gonna be honest. They're 3-8 right now, but from what I've seen the last 3 weeks, I love what I'm seeing out of Carolina. I did not think I would be saying that at all this year, but these last 3 weeks have really caught my attention, and I like what I'm seeing out of Bryce Young and Chuba Hubbard. I think just got an extension, and he's been a pretty productive running back despite not having the best O line or the best passing attack to help him out. He still is productive. So I do like what I'm seeing in Carolina, but in terms of Tampa Bay, you mentioned they dropped a few in a row. They won again last week. Last week they also have Mike Evans back. This is going to be another week that Mike Evans is playing. I mean, all that cold stretch that Tampa Bay went on, I'm not worried about really because, like you said, competitive in all those games really, and
Mhm.
kept them close without Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. And then having Mike Evans back, and like you said, that rushing attack looks. I mean, it's three guys, but some of the best rushing game I think I can remember from a Bucks team in a while.
Yeah.
So yeah, give me the Bucks and give me the Bucks to win big against Carolina here in Carolina.
Yeah, I agree. I think I just said Bucks are winning the NFC South, so this is where the run starts.
All right. And then talking about another NFC South team here, the LA Rams are going to be going in to face the New Orleans Saints.
Rams coming off the short week after the tough. I mean, the Eagles just went in there or no, it was Sunday night. That was Sunday night, not a short week.
No, yeah.
But yeah, I don't have a lot to say about this game. You know how I feel about the Saints, and I feel like the Rams are pretty good. Puts them right in the thick of the NFC West race. I'm taking the Rams and the points, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, give me the Rams, give me the points. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. They're just the better team. They're healthy at the right time right now. Yeah, I'm all over the Rams in this one, and 2.5 points is a low spread. So yeah, give me them to cover the points. Um, the Saints haven't looked terrible. I will say they haven't looked horrible, but I can't get behind Derek Carr and this Saints team. Just there's so many question marks around multiple areas with the Saints, and I don't think they just don't match up well against the Rams at all. So I'm riding with the Rams. Um, then this is gonna closing out our late window. You just mentioned or talked about on the Eagles going into Baltimore. I mean, this one's interesting. This is a pretty good matchup.
This is a great match. This should be the Sunday night game. First of all, I will say that. Great game in Baltimore. The Eagles look like world beaters right now, especially after watching them on Sunday night. It was Saquon's 255 yards.
Historic 300 total yards of offense.
This is really whoever wins this game probably puts, unless Jamar Chase goes crazy this weekend, whoever wins this game probably puts their name atop the offensive player of the year because this is kind of the head to head with Henry and
Yeah.
Barkley.
Yeah.
Um,
I expect this game to be very ground and pound, nasty in the trenches. Uh, yeah. What are your thoughts though? Baltimore favored by 4 or by 3.
I think that's a good line. Baltimore at home is tough, and Philly is really, really, both these teams are really, really good, but I am on Baltimore to win this game. I think at home, I think just a little bit, Lamar's just a little bit better than Jalen Hurts, man. And I think that's going to be the deal breaker for me.
Yeah. I'm on the opposite end. I mean, I like the Eagles, man. I mean, I look at Baltimore. They've just been so shaky at times this
Yeah,
year.
man.
I mean, the receiving core, I give the receiving core. Philly's got the better receiving core.
Yeah.
There's been some times where the receiving core for Baltimore has made a lot of mistakes that cost them games and makes games closer than they should be. As I say, the running attack is the running attack. I'm not worried about it, but I think both teams really match up well in that department. So the Eagles are they're just hot and they're hot and they're more consistent. Um, I'm still skeptical about the Sirianni drop off and waiting to see if that's going to happen. But the Eagles have been, I think, I'm not gonna say as good as the Lions have been, but they're not too far behind in terms of the NFC. And the Ravens, they've just been real shaky at times. So I like the Eagles to get a road win here in Baltimore.
All right, we disagree.
All right, and then brings us to our Sunday night matchup, the Niners and the Bills.
Yeah, Niners Bills. I see we're running low on time here, so I'm going to try to be quick.
Yeah.
I think 7 point spread. This one's simple for me. I think if Brock Purdy plays, seven is a lot of points for the Niners. I know they haven't looked good, but if Purdy plays, that offense is going to be good enough to move the ball and score. If Purdy plays, I'm on San Francisco. If he doesn't, I think Buffalo can cover.
All right. Well, I look at it this way. I mean, I hear what you're saying with Purdy. If he plays, obviously it's a big component. The quarterback is always a big factor, especially if they do or don't play when they're on the injury list. But I think beginning of the year, this is a game that was going to be a lot better than what it is now, based on what we've seen out of the Niners. At least the Bills look like they're contenders. The Niners have looked everything but that.
Yeah.
Give me the Bills. They're 7 point favorites, so I mean, I don't know if I feel comfortable taking them to cover that, just because I still know that the Niners have the talent.
Yeah.
Um, but I like the Bills money line for sure in this one. I mean, they've just been the better team all year. They're at home, and Bills Mafia is going to be rowdy on Sunday night after Thanksgiving. First this is the first day of December. Like, give me the Bills. This one's going to be good.
Yeah, it is. Niners plus seven, baby. Lock it up.
All right, Browns and Broncos are Monday night matchup to close it out. What do you think?
Browns and Broncos, baby. Browns coming off the win against Pittsburgh.
Big win, big divisional win.
If Jedrick Wills, their starting offensive tackle, might be back this week. I honestly 5.5 points. Denver has been good. We know this. We know. I know that you are a big Denver guy,
Yeah,
which has made me watch Denver a little bit and see that they are a good team and they're going to make the playoffs. I think we both think, but 5.5 points is a lot, and I think Cleveland can cover 5.5. Cleveland's offense has changed since Jameis took over.
absolutely. I mean, yeah, I think I see where you're going, and I'm right there with you. This Cleveland Brown offense with Jameis at the helm has been significantly more productive. They are, however, facing a Denver Broncos team which has specialized in their pass defense all year.
Mhm.
But Nick Chubb is the running back, and he's been back now for a few weeks. Who's to say he doesn't get going and kind of like has that big game, that big game that since he has since injury and can keep this one close. I like the Browns plus 5.5 here. I'm real high on Denver, but I like the Browns in this one to keep this one close.
Yeah, I agree. 5.5's a lot of points in the NFL.
So, all right. So we're both in on the Browns at 5.5. That covers all of our games we got in week 13. Do you got a lock? You got a lock for us?
My lock is going to be the Rams over the Saints. That and the points. Honestly, they're winning. They're covering 2.5 against the Saints.
Okay. So Rams and Saints. My lock has got to be the Chargers over the Falcons. I'm not gonna lie. They're just the
Oh,
better team. I Chargers going into Atlanta. Give me the Chargers.
I like it.
Road lock. And what about our underdog?
My dog, I want to honestly take Cleveland as my dog because the value is really good. But my dog that I think can win outright is Arizona against Minnesota.
Yeah. And my dog, honestly, my dog in this one is gonna be Philly. I mean, they're plus 140. And this is a game that I truly do believe that they are the better team and can get a good win on the road as a 3 point underdog at 140. So yeah, give me Philly, dog of the week.
I like it.
Well, that wraps it up. Again, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Be safe. Enjoy time with your family. And
So,
yeah, make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see y'all in the next one.